Hi there, Brett here at Tabletop Sagas, and today I'm back showing a project of what I've been working on in the last couple of weeks. It's a little bit of a curveball, but also not all at the same time. So let's dive right in and I'll show you what I've been working on. So I finally got round to watching Band of Brothers, something I've been putting off for probably the better part of 20 years. I really should have watched it. And shockingly, pretty much the next day, I happened to be down the shop and this was on one of the shelves. So, well, I really didn't have a lot of choice. Next thing I know, I've got a box of US Airborne at home. And that was a good 2 weeks ago now. I've spent the last 2 weeks building these and painting these, and here we are. A full, complete box of 30 miniatures, which is enough to do a solid 2 squads, but if you have them as slightly under strength and not ideal, and basically looking as if they've been in combat, you can definitely stretch this out to 3 units and effectively an entire platoon's worth of riflemen. So here they are in all their glory, in their late war uniform. So this is stuff for market garden or something like that, which is a little bit wrong for me. I was actually intending to do something maybe a little bit earlier, maybe doing the 82nd All-Americans and doing some stuff for Operation Husky. But hey, I've got these and they're all painted, so it's not exactly a bad thing. So let's have a look at a couple more of these in a little bit more detail, and I'll talk you through what it is that I did with these. And here we have, first of all, say a medium machine gun, I believe. Yes, medium machine gun team on a larger base, kind of a classic thing that I wanted to include in these, and I've put 2 together for this force. These are something I've not really encountered very much of. It's something that's always interested me about bolt action, these lying down miniatures. It seems like a really daft thing, but it is something that's almost a bit of a novelty. You don't see it in a lot of other ranges. And these are, like I said, these are done up to be the 101st Airborne, as you can see by the eagle on their shoulder, decals. These are absolutely tiny, and I hope you can see those. These I have painted really quickly, actually, using a guide from Sonic Sledgehammer, which I will link down below. It's an excellent one. It uses some colours that you maybe don't expect, and in terms of the packs and things, I've gone for the earlier, or at least what he said was the earlier colour, which is the Iraqi sand, if memory is serving correctly, because, like I said, I have a passing interest with some market garden stuff, and so actually maybe using these for that is something that could be of interest to me. I'm thinking of possibly using these for 200 hours, maybe doing some stuff for the Americans for that. At least that's the initial thought. You will notice as well that the bases are done pretty basically. It's really just a mud texture, then a wash and some dry brushing. That's fine for the minute. What I really wanted to do was kind of figure out what size of a force I wanted for this, and then I'll do all the basing all in one go. That way I can buy enough tufts, enough flowers, enough shrubbery, whatever I want, all in one go, and just get it all out of the way and done, which is generally the way I prefer to work when I'm looking at something like this, which is a larger project maybe, but is also going to be quite a self-contained project. Realistically, at absolute most, about a company's worth is something that's probably enough for me for these. So let's move on. Let's have a look at one of the other models here. So here again, we've got another guy lying down, which again, like I say, for me is an absolute novelty. And I wasn't sure what to do with this guy. I knew I wanted to have an extra lying down guy because he was in there in the box and I wanted to get him painted up. So I've gone with some binoculars, and I'm thinking of using him to represent possibly a forward air observer or an artillery observer, basically some form of guy who can call in strikes on the table were I to use this for bolt action, which as I was painting these, because let's say they painted up pretty quick, you know, they're green, browns and drabs. they always do come together quite nicely. I'm kind of getting a little bit of an itch to give it a try. It's not something I've had an interest to do before, but you know, if I've got 200 hours, and then I could have bolt action for that kind of company level stuff, and then I've got Blitzkrieg Commander for your more divisional level, your higher end stuff, and then I could potentially link in with some form of campaign system to do the really big operational stuff. So bolt action I'm kind of considering at the minute, because it is something that would fill a niche for the World War II wargaming. And then moving on to this guy is back to being a standing model. We're going for a light machine gun, a BAR here. It's really interesting learning about all the different terminology, and I'm feeling like I'm quite enjoying this, and particularly learning as well about what the chevrons and what they meant, and see the divisional insignia. All these decals are really nice, absolutely tiny, and I strongly recommend getting some microsol and some microset. Made putting these on far easier, and yeah, really enjoying just figuring out and learning about who these people were. And here finally we've got one of my NCOs that I'm using. It's a sergeant, I believe. It's the 3 chevrons on the shoulder with the submachine gun, looking really good, pointing and ordering some guys around. Interestingly, this arm as well, I did have to do a little bit of converting, just adding in a bit of sprue goo to fill it out to kind of pull it so he's pointing across himself rather than forward. I think it was a little bit more of an interesting pose. So I haven't really done a lot of kit bashing for these. I am tempted to as I go further forward in the future. The main reason why I haven't as of yet is because, well, US 28mm, I just don't have a lot of stuff. And so with that, question obviously becomes, where does this go from here? So where does this go from here? All important question. Am I going to turn this into an entire massive new project that I'm going to be focusing on and all of that? No, honestly, no. Bolt action, 28mm, don't get me wrong, it does seem interesting. It's something I want to incorporate in, but I think I want to do it more in a going down the club, playing match play games, getting, you know, some games in with people so I can really dive into the rules of these. And that's not what I'm trying to do here on this channel. The battle reports, and I've got some ideas for some campaign stuff that I want to do here, but that's going to be far more narrative. And while bolt action is nice, and I may try and incorporate it, no promises, but we'll see, that's something for the future. However, this weekend, after I'd got all this painted, I was back down the shop, and I did decide to pick up some other products for this. And this is another platoon force, slightly different. They're in the earlier uniforms. So these I could do as the 82nd Screaming Eagles, or 82nd All-Americans, or the 101st Screaming Eagles. Still learning the divisional terminology, I do apologize there. And really interested to crack this box open and give these a go. I'm not sure still. I'm going backwards and forwards with it, to be perfectly honest. Do I do these as the 82nd and then use that for, you know, some Operation Husky, and I can still use it for D-Day? Or, like I said, this was really kicked off by finally watching Band of Brothers, so do I do these as well as the 101st and then do some D-Day and some Carentan stuff with these? That's another option. However, for these, I didn't just buy the one box. I probably should have stopped there, but I couldn't resist because the shop also had this, not for a terrible price either. But here is the Karahi box. I'm pronouncing that wrong, I know I am, but that's what I'm going with. So this has got quite a fair bit of extra stuff. Let's see if we can find where it is. The full showing is kind of there on the side. So you've got enough for 3 squads. So it's 36 men, so you can probably do 3 squads and also probably have some Pathfinders or something like that. You've got a bazooka team, an anti-tank gun, howitzer, machine guns, medium mortars, some command guys. So there's a good selection of troops in here. This is definitely a solid starting force. when I add this box on as well, that really is going to probably be all of the infantry that I need for any time soon for doing American paras. I'm just going to need to maybe get some additional, whether it be artillery, mortars, looking at things like that I can get instead. This, however, is the plan to be a pretty short project. I have some time off work in the near future, so I'm planning on sitting, building all these, getting them all primed, and just in that time off, seeing how much of this that I can absolutely tear through. At least that's the plan. But what do you think? Is this something that would be of interest to you? Like, say, this is going to be more of a personal project, but I just wanted to show it off because I am really excited about it. If it's something you'd like to see more of, though, feel free, let me know, and I can always document, kind of vlog style, that time off and sort of trying to do an intensive, almost full-time painting. I think that could be a kind of interesting video, and I'd love to get your opinion on that as well. But that's it for now. I will probably come back to update you at the very least once these are done. Otherwise, though, next on the list is I do have some more Blitzkrieg Commander stuff to show off for you, which I'm really excited about as well. So be sure, if you want to see that, hit that subscribe button. It does seem like there is an awful lot of World War II stuff that seems to have crept into my wargaming recently, which was definitely not something that I was expecting anytime soon. But if you do want to see it, let's say, hit the subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment below. Let me know, what do you think? What's your opinion of bolt action? Maybe, do you know any other good rules that are worth you trying out with these as well? Let me know, anything like that. I'll be down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Brett, as always, here at Tabletop Sagas, and I will see you in the next video.